Yeah. Um, Hi, Sarah. And I have, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I had issues with Zoom, but I'm in now, so I had to go out and in. There's always something. I'm so,
Always.
I'm so dark. I don't know why I'm so dark in that. I got my super duper um, camera on again, but not fully installed. But yeah, it's I don't have it on track mode now, I think. Anyway, yeah, so we have a few students who are not going to make it today.
Okay.
So we wait a little bit, and then thank you both for your art this week. That's really cool. So did you have any questions before we start the classes, or any comments or anything?
I was really struggling with the lines in mine, and so what I did was I sent a whole bunch of photos of how it progressed, but I haven't finished it, and I was just hoping to get some feedback or some suggestions on the lines. What they are right now are just scraps of uh magazine. I just cut out black strips
Yeah.
from magazines and
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll talk about it while we look at your art. Yeah, definitely. Um, then anything else? How did anybody do the print for anything? Uh, Print design?
I didn't. I
No? No? Why
wanted
not?
to finish what I had. And I'm short on time. So this week I was short on time. So I just worked on trying to complete something.
Yeah. Yeah, I really want to for you to do that for everybody because it will give you a good overview of the class. At the end, you have done nine different designs, and it doesn't have to be anything special. It can just be a few lines here and there, but it's mostly because of the intention that you set and how you feel. So about your feeling while you're painting and the intention of what you're going to make. Now, the feeling is everything is okay. If you write down from, oh, I'm going to make a print for a scarf, but I feel really weird about it, or I don't know what to do, or it's not going to work, then just write that down. So don't make a beautiful writing, beautiful essay. Just write down the words that come in your mind. Because everybody is a mind game. Every painting is a mind game. And it is really, really important for the result that your painting is gonna give. And that, so when you have these nice small paintings, because they're all just like small ones, right, in the sketchbook, you have a good overview, like, oh, here I felt really good, and look, then I made this, and here I didn't feel very good, or here I felt like whatever stressed, and then I got that out of it. So it is not just that you have to make the design and print it afterwards, but it would be really cool to do that. Because how cool would it be when you have a scarf and everybody says to you, like, oh, I like your scarf. I said, oh, it's one of my paintings. It's my art, right? I think that's really cool. And you might think, oh, that's not going to work with my art. Yes, it can work with anything. Like what I showed you, the little pillow last week, the throw pillow, that is just a part of a large painting. And then if the design that you made in a little sketchbook is not up to, the quality that you need for a print, then you can make something similar in a bigger painting, and you can also use it as making a bigger painting because a lot of artists what they do, they start with studies, so they make like small sometimes thumbnail paintings to see what it looks like, and then they make several of the same subject, and then they say, okay, so this I like this one, so I'm gonna make a bigger of a this is gonna be my painting, so I'm gonna make a large painting like this, So don't just say it is not important. It's actually very important. And I thought when I give the little print thing to it, it will give some joy. I did a class, I think it was a 4-week class with that. It was so much fun. They so much enjoyed it. It's really cool. But it does not have to be a pretty picture. Anything in this class does not have to be a pretty picture. I hope that is clear. So it doesn't matter. It goes about, just the joy of making it. And I will help you to get, if you say, like, well, I'm struggling a bit with this or with that, it's all fine. I mean, I started painting when I was 54. I'd never painted before. And I painted the first 5 years, almost every day. I took classes everywhere. I have a ton of really bad paintings, actually a carload full that we just brought to the dump because it was not. But I knew that I could do it, and I knew that I had to work hard for it. And that's what I did. And eventually I made better paintings. Do I like all my paintings? No. I have a ton, I can show you a ton of paintings that I never finished because I didn't really like them. So but it's not about that. It's really about having fun doing it and then just make. And even if you're just starting out, that doesn't matter either. I mean, you can just make beautiful paintings from the get-go, especially with the abstract. So so just think about that. So just see if you can try just give it a try. You just only need like 5 minutes or so for that, or 10 minutes. It's not a whole big project. Set some time apart. You can also make several. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I like this, and then it's good to show it in class because you get so much valuable feedback from other students, and you learn so much from what they have made. You go like, oh, it is the same idea, and somebody else made this and I made that and another one made another thing, so you really feed off of each other, and so it's gonna be it's fun. So I've decided, so I have several ideas where you can go, so I emailed them in my email yesterday, and there's another one that I have where if you want to make a scarf, you can get a scarf finished. So it's just all sewn up and everything. I asked my friend where she goes. She goes to was it Food Flower, I think, and then to another one that I'll give you the information about for the scarves, for the finished scarves, and the other one she orders just per yard, and then she sews her own. So I'm gonna do that because I want to make a throw pillow of some of the paintings, and I also want to make a scarf of silk. So I'm just maybe gonna do the finished one, and that's just cool. I have MS scarves, like 10 or so. They're very beautiful and very expensive, but I want to make mine in the same category. I'm not gonna paint like a whole like horse show on it and whatever, but it can be really really simple. It can be just black and white if you want to. Anyway, so that was my story about the fabric print. I want to do some brainstorming about it, what we can do. So on the list, so if it like a sarong, or I don't know how you pronounce that in English, but if you don't want to, I can imagine that you don't want to do that. But for example, what I thought was interesting to make a print for a bathing suit. Now it's not that you're gonna have that printed because that's probably not gonna work. But it'll be nice when you make a drawing of a bathing suit and then have like a flower over it or so. I can show you my bathing suits. Maybe I'll do that later. They come up with a flower. So I walk in on the beach in Hawaii, and then people come to me like, "Oh, I love your bathing suit." And it's just like flower over it. So it's cool. So, let's do some brainstorming to get a bit in the feel for it, and maybe we'll do one in class. Make a print. All right. We have Susan on here. She hasn't been here before. I mean, she takes all my classes, but she wasn't there last week. So Susan, can you introduce yourself and
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Wilson, and I live in Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. But I used to live in Maryland, and I started taking Elizabeth's classes during COVID, and I had absolutely no self-confidence. And Elizabeth slowly worked me along to where I started having self-confidence and started feeling good about at least some of my paintings.
No.
So I haven't done much in the past 6 months. I just got out 2 days ago of a rehab center, which I call Skull Island. After
Wow.
the movie, I was there for 2 months, and I had major surgery on my right leg, so I'm still not completely walking on it. But I want to really to get back to painting. I wasn't really able to do much painting there because I
Mm,
had so many people coming in the room all the time and
yeah.
lots of interruptions. But I'm ready to go now.
Good. 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 Yeah, I'm glad to see you back. So hopefully you can
Me
stay.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So then does anybody have any questions about in general or just want to add something? No. So then let's go and look at the paintings. Now my screen is like I don't know what my screen is doing, but it's not moving the way it should go. Yeah, there we go. Um, Go to abstract. Then Sarah, you sent in you're the first one to send this in. You made a lot. Good. So now I'm gonna go over all and then we're gonna talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Take a look. So you have printed and painted, I think. Yeah, cool. Nice. Ooh,
That's nice.
yeah. So, okay, so tell me about your process and anything you want to talk about when you look here.
So when we started out, you asked us to do six separate, like just play with shapes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what I did while you were talking in class when after you made the assignment. And then when I left the class, I had the idea, I think somebody suggested it or it came to me, I can't remember which way it went, of making it all one big one. And so what I did was I added more shapes and then I started playing with scraps of like strips of, I just opened up a magazine with a black page and cut lines because I didn't want to draw on top of it until I knew what I was doing.
Cool. Yeah.
So I just put them down and I didn't really like that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what if I put more shapes on top? Well, maybe. And then I was, just kind of going through that process. So the
Yeah.
next couple slides are just me playing with paper on top of the painting.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are all, no, this is the same
It's
drawing as this
all the
one,
same
right?
process.
Oh, it's all the same drawing. Yeah. Okay, that's cool because now it's not definite. Now you can keep moving it
Yeah.
around.
I just I kept playing with it. And
Yeah.
I realized that I didn't, I thought the lines were too thick. And I thought I didn't know how to deal with the white space left behind unless I kept adding more. And then I realized that I really didn't like the lack of crispness to the shapes. So I outlined them all. And
I
I think
like
that's
that.
made the top.
So do you like it?
That's where it is right now. That's all it is right now.
Yeah, nice.
And then I added some more black lines in the last one.
Oh, you have another one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 you did this. Yeah, you
And I'm
see?
trying to decide if I like the lines or whether I should just keep it the other way.
But look at this one and then look at this one. What do you
Yeah.
s- what do you feel when you look at this one? Hold on.
The
So
other,
notice what you're feeling. You look at this one.
this one seems more like,
uh,
I mean, this looks like too much busyness to me,
Oh, okay.
but I like the energy. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because we can all say what we feel.
Yeah.
That'll be good. So when I look at this, I say, "Oh, that's nice," but it's kind of empty. And
Yeah.
then I look at this and go like, "Oh, wow. This has energy more than this, but that's just me. So what do the others say? What do you think when you see this one, Barb and Susan and
Well, it kind of depends what you want to do with it. If it's going to be a print or just something to hang on the wall. I like them both for different reasons, and I don't even know why the reason why I like them both.
okay, yeah,
I do like the busyness of this one with the lines.
mm-hmm,
Like you said, the energy, but I also like the simplicity of the other one without the
yeah,
lines.
yeah, yeah,
I like the colors of that too,
yeah, yeah,
very much.
yeah. The colors are
Yeah.
really great. Yeah,
I was really just kind of limited in the coloring because of the medium that I chose because they were crayons
Mhm.
and they only had so many colors.
Yeah.
Um, and they didn't really blend well. I tried a little bit, but um, and the other thing I was trying to decide is whether I should do lines inside the shapes, like
Mhm.
just maybe almost the same color, or maybe one shade off. And
Yeah, of course you can do that, but I think what I like about it when you look here, then you have these lines in here, and what I like that you did is you have these different colors in here.
yeah, I thought that was really the most interesting one.
Yeah, and here that goes over, and then here you have the line that goes over here. So you have all these different little things here. That's pretty clever. I mean, that's really nice. You have these behind and you have this on top of it. Yeah. So now what you can, what was the overall feeling when you were making all of them?
Um, I really had no set intention. I think that's the first
Good. Yeah.
problem or process. This was really more about a process than having a final product.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I did think about like the shades of the paint in the painting process. Do I go opaque or do I go, try to make it all one color? And so I was playing with light a little bit with that.
Yeah.
Um, and I was just trying to like decide when to stop. And that's, always my challenge. I don't want
Mhm.
to overdo it, but I don't want to.
Yeah. Not overdo it. Yeah. Well, I've done that many, many times. Yeah. But, but
And you start
so
having fun, you're like, oh, okay.
I know. Yeah. So my suggestion is what I finally learned is that when I think it's finished, but I'm not quite sure, then I leave it.
Yeah.
And I
And
put it in another room. So I work on, I'm thinking about working on canvas now, and I put it in another room or leave it in my studio now, and I'm not gonna touch it because it has like an elastic band. It will pull you in. You have to work on it. Don't do that. Just let it sit for a while, for weeks. Sometimes a painting sits for years, and then I go like, oh, okay, now this is what I gotta do about it, and then I'll do it. So the Richard Diebenkorn, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he what he did that too. So he made a painting for his wife, and they had it in the dining room. And every time when he was a big abstract, and every time when he walks into the dining room, he said, "Oh, it needs something. It needs something." But he never, did anything until Thanksgiving. They were ready to sit down at Thanksgiving dinner, and then he says to his daughter, "Get me my paint." And she does that, and he does a little, like I think it was yellow or something, a little thing at the corner. And they said, okay, it's finished. And then he never touched it again. So, you are in good company if you
good.
don't really know what to do with it. That's actually a really great lecture that she has, the daughter of her father. It's very, you learn a lot from it because she talks about Richard Diebenkorn as her father and as an artist. Very, very interesting. Her name is Gretchen. I think I will, it's a little off topic, but not really. I'll write it down here. I will put the video in the email that I'm going to send you. Yeah. Gretchen is her name. Like a little German name, right?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what I really like is that you started playing with it, with the papers. I said to students, I said, well, you have these cutouts, and then you throw it in the air and you let it fall down, and then look at it that way. So then you cannot plan anything, but then you can tweak it a little bit if you want to, or you can say like, okay, I'm going to leave it like this because this is what happened, because happy accidents are most of the time not really accidents. They are actually what the painting needed. Yeah, very good. So the other thing is with painting, we think that painting is only the time that we have a brush in our hands and work on it. That's not true. Most of the time, like also Richard Diebenkorn and, for example, Willem de Koning, it took him years to finish a painting. And he said, well, the painting escaped my studio. And so, and they would sit for hours in front of their painting and look at it, just contemplate about it, and then ask yourself, what does my painting need? What does it need? So not what do I want to do with it, but what does a painting need? So look at the different shapes, look at the colors, look, sometimes you want to keep your thumb about a certain spot. And there are always spots that you think, okay, I like that. And then others that you say, not so much. So do the thing with close one eye and hold your thumb over it. And I say, like, so what does it look? How does my painting look when that's there and when it's not there? That is really eye-opening. It's really cool. What you can also do is take what you did here with different pieces of paper. You can say, for example, oh, I don't like this color for some reason, or maybe do I like it or not? Or then you paint a piece of paper in the color that you think would look good there, and you put that on top of it, and then say, okay, yeah, this is it, or it's not. So then you don't have to paint it on the canvas or on the paper, but you can play with it a little bit, you know? So there's so many things to do. What you can also do with lines, what you did now with this, you can paint the whole paper or canvas, but with paper it's a little bit more difficult. With canvas is easier. And then put tape on it. You can put tape on the white, on the bare canvas, but if you do that, then that part has no paint. So best is just to stain the or paint or stain the canvas, then put the tape where you want it, and then start painting. Now, it is a good idea to make a photo of where the tape is, because I've done that one time and I couldn't find the tape anymore. So I was scraping around on the canvas, like, is it here? No. Is it there? No. So, it helps when you have an idea of where reference of where the tape is. But yeah, you can play with that too. Yeah. But I like the way you did that. That is very creative. See? And that's what I like when students do that. That's really, really cool.
Thank
Yeah. Anybody? So Barb, you have you said anything about this or that? No.
I like the colors. And I heard the comment about limited colors because of the whatever medium she was using. And sometimes that's a good thing to have a limited palette
Yeah.
because it's unlimited, that could be a problem. It could be overwhelming. So,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the stuff I use doesn't have a lot of colors. So I work with what I got. Um, and the one with I see the overlapping, um, different ways of overlapping. There's one purple off to the left there. It's purple and pink, and it kind of looks like the purple and the pink are
Good.
blended together. It's like
Yeah.
on the left there and kind of in the middle. And then you got um, the purple and yellow over there, and you know, it's just different ways of overlapping. So
Yeah.
that like that
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah. 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 So
Um,
my suggestion is for the next painting to look at. And now I don't remember if the class is, the video is going about that, but think about bigger shapes,
Yeah.
much larger. So if you look again,
Basically, that's what we were doing, was we were coming up with a shape pattern that we liked and then making that bigger.
yeah, yeah. But this is great, but it's also good to go to look at that first video. Look at what Popova did with these shapes. I'm not good at making shapes like that, not at all. I'll just tell you that it's not it's not my style, and I'm absolutely not good at it. I love it, but I can't do it. But look at, so study her painting, how she, do you remember what that means? She had the white over those shapes, and look at it, how these shapes, some of them just go out of the canvas a little bit. Um, Now, just, yeah, then just experiment with that. That would be, maybe a next step or so. Yeah, cool. I like the idea of the lines that you did. That's pretty cool. So I am a person, so I did a lot of intuitive painting workshops, and then people, you can read, I can read what's in it, and I can read when people were painting with their intuition and when they were thinking, and I show that to them, and they go like, oh yeah. But what I always said is you have to fill the whole painting. And then they said to me like, no, 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 I want to leave it white because it's on paper, right? I want to, it's airy. And I said, no, no, you cannot do that. So then once was doing that for like 6, 7 years or so, and it was one of this was in a yoga studio, a workshop, and she said, oh, one said, can I read your painting? I said, yeah, sure. So, but I thought she couldn't see anything in it because it's not really finished. Then she said, you're filling in empty spaces. I said, no, I'm not filling in. I'm like, oh my God, she's so right. I'm filling in freaking empty spaces. I always have a plan and a project and a thing and all the five lined up or something like that. And it shows up in my painting. And then I got like, it's even worse. Then I said to my students, like, no, you have to, you cannot leave it open. You have to fill it. So now I have to bite my tongue because I still want to say it, like, but I should not say it. So now I'm, going like, wow, this is very, very interesting. So you really learn from this kind of work, which is so cool. Even after years doing that, I mean, painting will show who you are. Is really cool, I think. All right, cool. Well, thank you. That was a wonderful homework result. And
Okay.
this is, I like this, Barb. This is a bit like, this reminds me of, I loved it, of Jackson Pollock.
Well, well, yeah. I was just playing around with paint. And
Nice.
it's interesting because there was a drip that ran into the next painting, but I kind of like that drip that ran, so there might be something cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah, this was it watercolor paint?
yes, it's
Acrylic?
watercolor. Yeah, it's watercolor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, nice, nice.
Watercolor and gouache. And just out of
Nice.
the tube, you know. Um and then so this was the first one I did. And then the second one, I think I got into the groove a little more
Yeah.
second time around. So
Hmm.
that's kind of the way, I have to get started and then
Yeah.
happens what evolves. So yeah.
Yeah, I love the way, so I love these. This.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm
I
glad.
love the way that you divide. So you divided it up. You have three, three, and then the other one as well, and then made like just the small one. See how effective this is. So if you frame this, so what I had for the longest time for work like this, I had a like how do they call it, a mat, right? It's passepartout in Dutch, and I put it on the painting, and then all of a sudden it looks different. It looks more polished when you have a frame around it, which is really cool. Yeah, very, very nice. Cool. So, and I'm glad that you all made. So, anybody want to say something about these?
I really like the spiral one on the upper left.
Yeah, yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah. It's very. I like them all, but I like this one and this one, and then they are connected here. This is cool. So now,
Unintentional.
yeah. So Jackson Pollock said when you paint with the imagination or from your imagination, images will appear. I see here like a shoe, like a high-heeled shoe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really cool. Sorry, I have a cold all of a sudden. Went to see my grandkids. Yeah, so Susan, do you see anything in here? I think you're muted. I'm not sure. All right, okay. This was cool. Now we can stop sharing. So then let's take, does anybody have any questions about this? No? Was it helpful to watch the video again? That we did in class? I mean, I've seen it many, 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 many times, and every time I see something different in it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So just do that. Yeah. Also practicing these kind of things. All right. So then about the thing, the print we work with this like sketchbook like this, or like you see, this would be a nice print. This was a an intuitive painting. I didn't think. I was just painting that. And I really like doing that because there's no how do I say um frustration. Or when I start making a landscape or a still life, then there's always at certain point usually in the middle there's frustration, like it's not gonna work the way I want it. When you do the intuitive work or abstract, it doesn't really matter, right?
I did this while I was waiting on hold.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Hold on. I love that.
So I don't know if it's I did it vertically, but it's just like the hardest thing I have with envisioning a scarf is that you want a long, narrow, your product is a long, narrow strip.
Not
No, no, no.
necessarily.
You can make
You can make it a
a
square.
square. Yeah. So if you look at the MS, they are 90 by 90 inches
Okay.
scarves. Yeah. I'll show you a few. I have them upstairs. I'll show you a few. Yeah, no, yeah, you can make it long, but they can re I don't really know how they do that, but I can well, my friend, she orders them in so she orders fabric by the yard, and then she makes it well, she sews her own scarves. I don't I mean I can sew. I made everything, like coats and every clothes for my kids and everything, designed all that. But I want to have a silk scarf, and that is done by hand. You're not gonna do that with a machine. But I don't want to. Oh, well, we'll see. But you can also, so just think about it. Look at the different companies that I gave you, and see what will suit you. But you can make anything. So yeah, let's do that first. Let's do some what do you call that? Brainstorming about that. So what could you make that would be interesting to you? Oh, no, I didn't want to. So I'll say what I like to. I'm gonna do. I didn't do it now, but I'll do it for the next one. Um, I want view here gallery. For the next one, I like to make a painting of a bathing suit, right? And then so I do something like that because just for the fun of it. So I make like a drawing like this, but you need then a big drawing, and they go like this. No, it's not really like this. So just something simple, right? Can you see it?
Hmm.
And then you're gonna draw. It's just for fun. Then you're gonna draw like a flower on it and going around it. So now, of course, as I said, you're not gonna print that, but it will just be fun to make a couple of those. Um, then so I'll write down what we come up with brainstorming. So I like scarves. That is easy, yeah. Because you can give them. So if you have a good one, you can give them as Christmas gifts to your friends. Um, so I'll get my MS scarves. You can take a look at it. They're upstairs. Hold on. But you can start talking about it. What you like shower curtains, tablecloths, napkins. I mean, the sky is the limit.
I think what I'm having trouble with is fabric is a different medium than flat paper.
Well, I did a piece of calligraphy.
hmm
I did silk with resist line swirl through it. And so then I did calligraphy and I cut out on paper and I cut out the so this silk was underneath. That was so I just cut a hole in the paper. So that's I don't know. I would do some kind of collage thing. That's probably and I've been doing collages.
hmm
Um But anyway, that was interesting. I'm not really a scarf person. I have scarves, but I don't wear them very much, so it's a little too fancy for me. I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Really. So, well, I've got a lot of drawings in my sketchbook. I want to get it. Let me see what's here. Maybe this one's full. Yeah.
So,
Oh, Susan, you're talking, but you're on mute.
so this is a bathing suit. I have to be by the microphone. See, this has the flowers. It was nice to make a drawing like that. See?
Hmm.
It's very simple. These are the scarves. Now you can make a scarf. This is not MS, but you can make one like this. Just like dots. Very easy with a rim around it. It's very nice. It's silk. It's a big one also. You can make, this is also not MS, but this is nice. Like, look, something like this. See, and these are big scarves. So you can make smaller ones. You don't have to make the big ones, but the big ones are really nice. I like them. But this is even bigger than MS. You see, it just have just flowers and stuff on it. You see it?
Mhm.
Simple. And then this is like a different. So this is a different one. So this is very thin silk. This is not MS either, but like something like this. And then they have flowers in the, see? That's cool. I'm not gonna all unfold them. So, well, so these are all like very detailed, but you can do a landscape on it if you want to do that, something like this.
Mhm.
See, these are
I like the
all,
scarves that are kind of like runny watercolor blending in
yeah,
together.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's what I have. I do have scarves like that. So very.
Yeah.
I
So,
know a local artist. That's what her work looks like, and I just love it. Her paintings.
I mean, so that's easy. But maybe you want to make a tablecloth. So what else do you have? I'll write down napkins. So, what they have at Vistaprint, you can have totes printed. I did that once. So I had my logo on the tote, like there was a big apple with my website. I have it somewhere also. You can do that and give that as gift. You can do. They have all kinds of. They have mugs and they have other things there. So just take a look at what they have. So what else? What are you thinking of? Something else that you can make?
I don't know if you heard, but I have a piece of calligraphy, and what I did was I cut a hole in it, and then I had silk printed that's
Yeah,
showing through the hole. I cut it with an X-Acto blade.
yeah, that's a good idea.
About that. I did that a long, long time ago. So it's on my wall.
Yeah,
Because I was in a silk printing class and I said, well, I got to use this. This is just too
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. That's cool.
That's what I do. So collage, some kind of collage, something that's
Yeah,
probably
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, so I showed you last week the pillow that the small
yes.
pillow that I made or had printed, but that's too small. This was just to see how it. So this is a huge painting, like 40 or so, and they have just. So I sent the whole picture, and they came of the whole painting, and they printed this on it, just part of it. But it's kind of cool. I like it. Now the colors don't really look good on my couch, so I might do something else. So what else do you think?
I was thinking about a saddle blanket.
Oh,
but saddle blankets are usually wool or
yeah.
some kind of synthetic. I don't know who would print that. I mean,
Yeah, well, have a look at the list that I sent, that I email, that I
yeah,
attached to this. See if you can find it there.
I
Uh,
would like to make one for a friend of mine who has a horse.
cool. Oh, cool. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, so what you need for that is yeah, special fabric. You need whatever. What do you need? Not wool, but or do you need wool? No.
the wool came to mind first, but I'm sure a lot of them now are made from synthetic fabrics, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure what they
Yeah.
are. I could find out.
Oh,
Yeah.
look it up. See what they're made out of. Go to a horse supply
Or
place.
shop. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We can put it in AI and they will come up with an idea.
yeah, I could find out anything now. Google.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that will be really good. So yeah, then think about it. So you can do the whole 9 weeks if you want to work on an idea, and then to start and then develop it further and further. You can do that. So look at the most important thing of this is to set an intention, to pay attention to your feelings, and design something with your intuition. So it doesn't, it can just be lines or anything. So maybe what you can do is also Google scarves or so and look at what they have for kind of scarves just to get some inspiration, because that helps also. But maybe okay, synthetic blanket for a saddle. Yeah, that's wonderful. Something else? Curtains, shower curtain.
My daughter represents a fabric line, manufacturer of fabrics for
Oh,
upholstery and things like that. And I mean,
nice.
they make all kinds of things, curtains, slip covers,
Yeah.
upholstery, all
Well,
kinds of things.
yeah.
And
Ask.
they have a lot of the fabrics they buy come from India. They're manufactured in India.
Oh,
And
right.
now they're worried because of the tariffs. The tariffs are going to be 50% on those fabrics.
Yeah. So maybe we can deliver them some prints,
Yeah, yeah,
right? You have to think
yeah,
big.
we could. That's possible.
You have to think big, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. I mean, okay. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah. Um, what else? So you can look at fabrics and say, what do I like or what don't I like about this fabric? So when I look at my clothes, most of the time, so my summer dress, I have a lot of dresses. So my summer dresses are mostly with something on it, like flowers, or this is a simple one. In the winter, I usually wear just colors, no, how you call that, pattern on it.
Hmm.
But yeah, but the tablecloth will be nice. I mean, I bought once a tablecloth
Yeah.
from, it was expensive. So, if you can print it, probably print it cheaper. Anything else that comes to mind? Cards? What about cards? Greeting cards.
Well, and those could be done with the same thing that I told you with I mean, I did this was a framed piece, but you could do it with cards too. And I have done cards
Yeah.
where you just cut a hole in the cardstock and or paste it on, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you can do that too. You can buy these blank cards,
Yes.
just white, and then paint that. You can do that too. That is actually really, or you glue it onto it. That's even better. Do that. Yeah, I mean there are so many things you can do. What else comes to mind? Well, anyway, so just think about it and then look at the list that I gave you and see what you would like to, what appeals to you. You say like, oh, I want to try this, I want to try that. And also push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, because that's the idea with this also. and to just have some fun with it. All right, so then anything else about the fabrics? No? Then let's go to the video. See if my screen moves now. Yes, it does. It's cool. So this is the second of the where is it? Yeah. I'll go away. Of the rules of abstraction. At this.
Experience of making, judging what
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Good.
works, what doesn't. That's a visual thing, not a spiritual thing. He had to get the spiritual to connect to the visual. Madame Blavatsky was not Kandinsky's only spiritual mentor. This is a meditation center built by one of Blavatsky's followers, Rudolf Steiner. Kandinsky read Steiner's theories. He was drawn to Steiner's proposal that we all inhabit not one, but several bodies. And one of these, the astral body, is invisible. He began attending Steiner's lectures in 1908. By coincidence, this was the same year that Hilma af Klint first met Steiner. Unknown to each other, these two pioneers of very different types of abstract art were each equally aware that Steiner's education program in Theosophy had the title, How to Know Higher Worlds. Art could be higher than nature, Kandinsky concluded. Theosophy was essential in the mix, but he needed other elements too. They were the primitive, the musical, and the way color works. Surfaces of the place he painted in Bavaria, were covered in simple art done by unknown artists, anything outside the Western mainstream. He called it primitive. The primitive, he claimed, gets to the essence of the spiritual. His insight about music and art is that music affects us profoundly, but it doesn't represent anything. He said, art could be like music. His paintings before abstraction were glowing landscapes. Composing them gave him a clue. Working with color was like playing the piano. He said, color is the keyboard. The eyes are the hammers, and the soul is the piano with its many strings. The artist is the hand that plays, touching one key and then another key, in order to make the soul vibrate. He was struck by Impressionist paintings by Monet that could be imagined not even to be pictures, he thought, but just colors, and by his own landscapes. One day he saw a painting that had really good color. He didn't realize it was one of his own on its side. Trivial accidents like not recognizing your own painting or not realizing a picture is a picture were the jolts of absurdity that Kandinsky needed in order to get his abstract experiment going. So the theory in action, the black arch in Painting with Black Arch, is the means by which the red shape dominates the blue shape, bearing down on it. The black is the accent that animates everything. Let's take a major rhythmic organizational idea, like music. The painting goes diagonally there and is countered by a different diagonal movement there. One movement counters another. The arch's blackness is continued elsewhere in other black lines, variations on a theme, pronounced or merged in, depending on their surrounding color, like musical chords depend for their mood on what chord comes next. Well, the visuals of painting with black arch have a logic that can be explained in musical terms: repetition and surprise, movement, counter-movement. It's not just logic, it's sensual impact, and in my view, it's great. It's the idea that abstract art is difficult come from? From the viewer or the artist? What would it mean if Fiona Ray said her abstracts were spiritual? If Kandinsky's rule was to transcend nature, her rule is the rule of the surprise move.
At the moment, I'm experimenting with making a painting just in black and white. I usually use colour, but I want
What's the reason to not use colour?
I don't know quite how to express that, but in a positive way. But I suddenly felt incredibly fed up with colour, and I wanted to start again by clearing everything out and go back to a very basic black and white beginning. I've seen a really nice sort of loopy gesture that I think I can put down here. It really, the process, I know that it's quite strange being filmed doing this, but the process really is like this. It's like, shall I? No, I won't. Yeah, no, I won't. Yes. Okay, what about, no, actually. And then suddenly you just do something like that quite casually without even thinking about it. So I'm just going to see. I also think it's important not to take the same size brush or the same bit of colour and repeat it all over a canvas, like a sort of pattern or something. So although a finished painting needs to have its own rhythm and its kind of own structural integrity, I like the idea of somehow getting different bits of paint language to join up and do that, and not to do with little repetitions.
So you don't literally join it up by doing the same thing?
No, no.
You want differences?
Yeah, because I think
different zones of energy.
Yeah. I want the viewer to not be entirely sure what the focus is or what the most important thing is, that the whole thing overall is the experience. And I suppose that in a way, maybe that's what makes me an abstract painter, in that I think that the marks all exist as themselves, in themselves and by themselves, as well as going together to make some kind of image that you might read in one way or another.
Yeah. You're aware of that there are component parts, but there's also an energy running through them all that unifies them.
Yes, and I'm also trying to make a picture of something that doesn't exist, which is an impossibility, of course, but I'll just keep trying.
Maybe that's a good definition of abstraction.
I think so. Yeah. It is. It's an impossible task, but it's a very interesting one.
When colours are related together by abstract art, it's not just colours artists like, or they hope the public will like. They're noticing something that colour does. How it can be wrong or right, in or out of key. How the colour of light in the real world filters out all differences and creates a single visual register in which all differences are unified. In 1914, Sonia Delaunay, one of the great founders of abstract art, created this color painting. It's called Electric Prisms. Delaunay invented a whole new way of compressing arrangement in art down to color and form. What are color and form? Form in art means arrangement or structure, but it also means the individual elements that the structure is made up from. Think of music. A piece of music is an arrangement or a composition, but it is made up of smaller musical events that are all related together, so there is a single unity, which is what composition is. The composition is a form, and the individual musical events are forms too. Color isn't something that exists and light reveals it to us. Color is light. Delaunay's abstract rule was to create light by scientific laws. In the 1910s, abstract artists were awed by the power of science. If it could cause people to get around the world at high speed and communicate with each other across vast distances, as well as explore the depths of the unconscious, as psychoanalysis was doing, the modern science of the mind. Maybe science could also radically transform art, so art could be a cosmic vision of everything. Throughout history, artists had played with our perception of colour intuitively, but in the 19th century, science began codifying new laws about how we perceive colour. Colours go from red to mauve to blue, through all the spectrum and round back again to red. For a long time, this had been visualised as a colour wheel. But in 1855, the colour chemist, Eugene Chevreul, said colours opposite each other on the wheel have the same intensity, and placing them side by side causes what he calls an optical vibration. Delaunay absorbed that scientific rule and took it over to serve her own rule of painterly evocation of the emotional lift of light. Softened colour is subjected to a rigorous but wavering grid, that circular layout. The grid is the form she's using. She's unafraid of breaking it. Colour overlaps the borders onto adjacent colours, following a colour need. Where there's a chance that the relationship between the colours threatens to be the visual equivalent of out of tune, she changes the colour logic, bringing light green over purple so primrose will sing out. Or intensifying yellow-red to darker red, so it will connect to a rhythmic pulse of dark and light accents everywhere. Delaunay was married to another colorist, Robert Delaunay. They were impressed that their friend Kandinsky liberated color from having to picture anything. But the Delaunays had a very different approach to Kandinsky. Think of them in Paris over there, and him working in Germany over there. Color in Kandinsky is emotion events. They're interwoven to create a dynamic drama. He doesn't use the full range of colors. With Delaunay, it's just a simple design, radiating bands. But she uses a vast range of colour, and it's a real inquiry into what colour can do. Every single element of the painting is about fusing or clarifying of form through subtle adjustments of colour. So the overall form or composition celebrates light as a sheer, overwhelming, spirit-lifting force. The Delaunay's got that radiating circles layout from the glow of colour.
Yeah, this was so what do you think of this one? Any ideas or what comes to mind? So I just discovered that there's a beautiful French restaurant here in Shepherdstown, and they have prints of Delaunay hanging there. It's really cool. So they have four small ones, so like eight, like maybe 20 by 20 next, or maybe 24 by 24 next to each other, and then have a bigger one when you go upstairs. This is really cool. So what do you think of her work? So if you look at the work between what Kandinsky did and what Sonia Delaunay does, which one do you like better? Do you see any differences?
I like the Deloney one better.
Yeah, and why is that?
Talking, but she's on mute.
So tell me a bit more. So what do you like about her work?
I liked the way her blocks of color like geometrically blended and were circular. I like the way they like you have one color and then another color and then another color. I thought that was really cool. But
Yeah, 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 yeah. So what don't you like about Kandinsky?
um,
Yeah, just say it. It's fine. Yeah,
he's just a little harsh.
yeah, yeah. He's masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have the same idea. But having said that, when you look at his earlier paintings, they were beautiful. Those landscapes, they were really beautiful.
Those
And
are like, but
and
when those black lines just were like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel the same. Yeah, it's like yeah, it rubs me the wrong way. But I do like his abstract paintings, and they look a bit because they're very flat, but they look a bit what Delaunay did. But Delaunay has more structure to it, and he had a landscape as an idea, worked with that. Yeah, so interesting. But I thought it was really interesting that that her paintings or the prints of her paintings were hanging in that French restaurant. I'm sure nobody knows about it, but it's really
I was at that restaurant this summer.
yeah, yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
So,
Um, all right. Anybody else?
I like Kandinsky. I always liked I liked his later works very much, but I'm starting to like Delorme. I didn't quite understand some of the chemical explanations for some of the colors. I didn't quite understand some of that. The way
What?
the way she was talking about, I don't know which piece it was. It was toward the end. She was talking about reds blending into something, and the science behind it. I don't really understand that.
Well, you have to go. So the science, they mean the color wheel. When you look at the color wheel,
Yeah.
so what the complementary colors are and the
Mhm.
secondary, tertiary, that kind of thing. Because so the way you put one color next to the other color, it makes it zing or it makes it duller, or it really depends. So when you have these blue, squares, and then they have a dot in the middle, and when it's orange, it pops more than when it's gray, for example. So so a painting, any painting, when you start that, you should start with one color, And then I'm trying to get it doesn't come up. So there's so one color. So you start with the main color of the painting, and then you relate every other color to that color. So you get a good relationship with the colors. But what she did, she just played with it, and she really tried to get something different, you know, and to you. And she mixes a lot of colors also, and works with that. Yeah.
Her
So
colors, her work is really growing on me. I mean, I've seen it now
yeah, yeah.
for over a few years, and I really like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll show you the painting that I mean, if you've taken my class, you've seen it before that I made in her style, and I'll tell you about it. Now I made two, and this is the second one, and they're a little bit different. Um, Let me see. Uh, Spotlight. Oh, here. Speaker. Oh, no, that's not gonna do that. Why not?
I tried to put you on speaker too, but I'm I'm in the speaker's place now.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because,
I don't know. See view.
yes.
Sorry.
Okay, now I do pin, so then I pin Elizabeth. So yeah, so now it should be on. Yeah, so this you see this one? So if you look at this one and you study hers, the mine is pretty neat. Do you know what I mean? With the color.
Pretty what?
Pretty, oh, well, maybe you don't hear
Did
me.
you say neat or meat?
Neat, like structured.
Yes.
Because she mixes the colors. She makes like dirty colors. I don't like dirty, so I don't have dirty colors. But that will be a good assignment to myself to say like, okay, now I'm gonna make. But this is also the colors that I usually use, bright. You see,
Right.
that's
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 very pretty.
yeah. But that's yeah. But I want to do also something different also. So this is the second one I made. I made a so people like it. I have it on the wall, and men say like, "Oh, I like that one." I don't know why, but it's interesting. But anyway, so the first one I made, I had more of those pies. I don't know
Hmm.
where the first one is. Maybe in my basement. But this one is a little bit less structured than the other. But still, if you look at hers, then she had on the corners, she had like big colors, you know, like bigger shapes and everything. And she had like this. See, these are almost the same width that I have, and she has a lot of differences
Right.
in that. But then, you know, the way you are will show up in your painting. So I don't like messy. I just don't like that. So that shows up in my this is pretty orderly, right?
Hmm.
But it will be nice to make something a bit more messier. And so what
What
I
was your first one like?
yeah, let me see if I have it here. This at the other side of the door. I'm not sure, but maybe. No, I don't know. I don't know where it is, but it's a little
Okay.
yeah, so you have more of these pies. So and then because with that one I started with a circle, so I was drawing several circles and worked with that. But the best thing is to just start somewhere. I started in the middle and then worked it out. So but yeah, no, I don't. It's strange. I don't know where it is, but so but yeah, it'll be nice to make another one. So that I think that will be a nice home assignment to make a painting like Delaunay.
Mhm.
Or if you say I want to do like a landscape, or you can do a still life of what Kandinsky did and keep it flat, and then you get more the idea of making a puzzle so that you have, that's how I would describe it. So you puzzle pieces and put them together. But or just get creative and do something in the style of Delaunay. Let me write that down. Um, then the other thing is what I found also. So if you watch it at the video again, so then pay attention to, and you can try that also for yourself, is painting to music. Because when you
Mhm.
paint to music, you gonna start and with your intuition, you're gonna start painting at the rhythm of the music. And that can be something that you want to do, or if you don't want to do it, then don't do that. But it will be good to see the difference. So every painting should have a rhythm, right? So if you really watch the video again and pay attention to that. Also, what he said about the diagonal. So a diagonal in a painting gives tension. We like straight line, like horizontal lines, because that is just like the horizon that calms us. And then you have, of course, the vertical. Sorry. Um, and then repeating shapes is important. And but not overdo it, of course, and not do them in the same way. You can do like a bigger line and a smaller line that is in the same direction. Um, I'm sorry. When you look at Fiona Ray and then look at the wall behind her, did you notice that she has these little studies of paintings? um, before she started the big ones. So that is always a good idea. For me, it's always I think, oh, that's a waste of time to do that because I rather go. I am very impatient, but it is a good idea of working with thumbnails or smaller ones. Um, okay, then what I also want to show you is this are very, small canvases, and what you can do to really get into painting only the essence of things. So you put something in front of you, for example, a fruit or a vegetable. Or anything else, but I mean, fruits and vegetables are always good, or a flower, because you don't have to be so detailed. And then take a big, big brush. See, if you look at the brush strokes of this one, these are big brush strokes. And then set a timer. So paint it in 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes, the whole painting has to be finished, right? That will give you. Now you have to paint fast, and you have to look at shadows, and you have to look at values and those kind of things. So that is a good exercise to get into the mood of painting also. So then whatever you so this with the home assignments, you can just have fun with it. And if you and just most of the time just start like a doodle, or if you're the Delaunay, start with certain shapes and colors and put them together. But as I said, she mixes a lot of colors, which is, but uh, your choice of colors will come out. You can say like, okay, I'm gonna paint this with the colors that I don't like, or I'm gonna paint with as many colors as I have, or I can paint with a small palette, so just a few colors, and mix a lot. But so what I found is best is just to paint quickly with it. And then you will notice that eventually you will just put color on without thinking too much. I have flower paintings up, I have them upstairs, the paintings, and they are painted kind of in the same idea, but then in the shape of flowers. Do you want to see that, or do you want me to get it?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So that's this one.
Mm, that's cool.
Mm, yeah, that's nice.
So yeah, so do you see? So that is kind of the same idea,
I haven't seen that one before.
but very messy done. So this is so what I did. I have you know the different stages of it that I painted this. But this is just painted up with. So I just did like started with big circles. If I can find it, I'll send you the different stages. So I just started with this also, and then with big circles, and then filled it in with just intuitively. I didn't. I had the colors out that I wanted to work with, and then just picked and painted it. So didn't think like, oh, this is not going to work, or that's not going to work. This so it's very. So I made three of these. This is mine, and I made a rectangular one and one that is a bit like this, but they are sold. And this is so it's really cool doing this because see, so you can relate that, um, kind of take a little bit of the idea and then make it your own. So this one, I didn't know about Delani when I painted this, but and I make my own frames also for the bigger paintings because it's so expensive to frame, those big paintings. All right, so I see you most of you are painting. So what are you painting or drawing?
I drew
Thank you.
I'm working on my Delone.
Okay, yeah, okay. I don't have you on yeah, the replace pin. Yeah, can you show it again?
Sure. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm working on the Delone.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Now you don't have to make all those lines. So you can just because eventually you you just follow the beginning. So, you can do one circle or so. That's what I did for the first one. Afterwards, for the second one, I didn't even do that. And then because you want to keep it really loose and how do I say that? imaginative. So working with your unconscious. That is important, and then you get the. But yeah, that's a good, good start. So then I also so what time is it? Okay, we have an hour. So Barb, what are you painting? Because I wanted to actually do something. I go with my finger over my paper here, just like it's my mouse. It's not going to do anything. Uh, hold on. View. So eventually it will. Gosh. Gallery. Yeah. Okay. I can see it. Yeah. Good. So now see if you can get. So now what I see. Oh, you're muted, huh? What I see that you are not using so many dark colors because you're always good at using putting darks in there. You haven't done that there. Is that for a reason or?
No, that's
Yeah.
just what I
Yeah.
know. Really.
But that is really interesting because you never do that. You always do very dark colors. Yeah.
Well, there is my calligraphy ink
Yeah.
tendencies.
Yeah. So what if you combine circles and lines? So one of you could what you I mean when you combine the first one and the other one and the second one on one. Yeah. So then
Yeah,
what I do want to do also is let me look at that.
get another piece of paper.
Is looking at so making a print. So does anyone do you have a sketchbook there? Anybody or nobody?
I do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do. I do.
Yeah. So why don't we do that and do a little entry in the sketchbook? So we start with the print design. So you can do as a design, you could use the Delaunay, for example, and do a loose thing of a Delaunay painting without any lines or anything, or something, well, anything really. But so you can be inspired by an artist, by the style of an artist, or by a movement, and you can make just snowflakes or leaves or anything that you can come up with. You can get a leaf from the yard and make the contour of it, or just about anything. Or you do something like this, and you just put paint on and see what happens. That is this one. So you start with a big blob, red, and then you put darks in, and then you get this. This is also one of the ones that you have to paint fast. So you can make a print and then paint real fast.
This is what I did while I was watching the video.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like that. Poppy field. Cool. I did. Yeah, nice. I like that.
It was real fast.
Yeah, that is really nice. Yeah, but that is a good idea if you are, listening to somebody. Then usually people, I in class, when I was in school, I was always doodling. So that's what usually people do. But yeah, you make a painting. Cool. So then you don't think too much, and that's what you want, right? I mean, nobody believes it, but it's actually true. I have to get some water because my throat is not really was scratchy, not really
So
working.
do you want us to do something specific or do you want us just to work?
Uh, well, I want you to make an entry in your sketchbook. So then I want you to set so it's going to be a print for you can fill in the blank. And then you can make it just a doodle. You can do it black and white. You don't have to do colors. You can do something with colors. But set the intention. So this is my intention to make a print for a scarf, let's say, or whatever it is. I'm gonna use I want to make a happy one or like a spring one or summer one or fall or winter kind of idea. So then you get the idea of what kind of colors you want to use because the winter you have cool blue colors and stuff, and in the summer you have like bright orangey and those kind of colors together. And yeah, I like that too.
Will that work?
Nice. I love that.
That
That
was,
feels
I mean, all I'm doing is I'm just ripping out paper and putting
that
it
yeah, it is really cool.
assignment great.
Yeah, yeah. So you could use that as a print for a scarf, definitely. Yeah,
That's what I was working with. I was trying to figure
yeah.
out.
It is right there. So anyway, so yeah, set an intention of the what you want to make, and then how do you feel? So the intention, how do you feel, and what colors you're gonna use? Is it gonna be so the sentiment of the print that you're gonna make? And I just make a quick one, and then at the end you say like, hey, my so you can look at it and say what does it need? Does it need something else or not? And then just ask questions about it and say, this is I like this about it. I don't like that so much. But there's right things in it. But do the date, write the date also on it, and then we're gonna look what the result is. This is a little bit of the idea of visual journaling. So there you set an intention, but there you work with a feeling. So for example, um, I have a lot of stress at the moment, and I want to know where my stress is coming from, and then you're gonna draw that. Hold on, I'm gonna get some water upstairs.
That's right. Here.
I found it.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
See, this one is actually busier than the other one. You can see that. It has a lot more dark in it, which is better because it has more definition. Why does it do that? Yeah. stay here, have a closer look. So this is actually more interesting than the other one. At least that's what I think. Because see the pipes that I mean?
Mhm.
So you notice that when you do that, then you start, that's what I did here. So I'm going to do the same thing over and over again. But here, and then I thought like, oh, I do have to do something different. So I was do a lot of thinking here also. And here they were just not quite round, so it's more like an oval that I don't like then, but actually, you know, you should just do it. So I have a little bit wider here from time to time. And there's actually kind of like a figure here, like a head. See? In there. And with a leg, with a dress on and a leg. And you see that? And there's something in here. So, I think this one is more interesting than the other one. But that's just me. Yeah, so you could do that. So you can see that the painting doesn't have to be complicated. It can just be simple with colors and shapes, and then you have a finished painting. So I'll show you another one that's flowers, and then it's kind of the same thing, but then in one color. Yeah, that is this one. Now it's just one color in different saturation and values.
Don't remember seeing that one before.
No,
No. Hmm.
I made it a while ago. I made 2 or 3 of this. One has my daughter has it, and so this one I have also, I also always take pictures. So this one started. I had much more leaf here, and then I thought, no, I don't like that, so I just painted over it. So you can paint over everything. So don't think, oh, you have a color and you have to leave it. So I had, kind of like dark colors around the flowers, and I didn't like it, so I replaced them by white. Because I think the whites look better. So you could do that too, This is I paint with oil, so this is all oil paint. Because see, just one color and then you get this out of it. So this is nice for abstract paint too. These are paint sticks. These are tempera sticks for abstract painting. Now this is kind of, so it's very smooth. Goes up.
Tempera sticks.
Hold on. What's they say?
They're tempera sticks.
Yeah, tempera paint sticks. Yeah.
I'm using these. I haven't used them before, but they're these Bosca Pasca
They
is what
are
they're called.
they are at these are from Michael's.
They are Michael's. Okay.
Yeah. A friend of mine, she gave she closed her artist studio, and then she gave me all these technical different.
Oh,
So this is great for kids. So when my granddaughter comes along, then we paint with this. It's paint, but it's like lipstick. And
They're really big.
yeah, we have smaller ones also, but these are the big ones. Yeah, these are nice for kids also. So you don't have because here I have carpet here down here, and so you don't get paint all over your house. Yeah, it's important, right?
I don't know what these are. These are Posca stick
Yeah, those are paint pens.
pens. Okay.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Now I had one time I had what also I forgot now exactly what it was. Something like paint sticks or so. No, they were horrible. I brought them back. I hardly ever do that, bring something back, but I said no, I don't want that. That doesn't work. But yeah, these are cool.
I like these Posca pens.
Yeah?
They're nice. I've never used them before. Yeah.
Really good because they can go on top of something else.
Oh
Really,
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that right? Okay.
like if you paint something black and then you decide you want to put color like dots or
Oh,
or whatever, they're really
okay.
really quick. They're great for signs.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
My neighbors and I make birthday signs for each other, and
Yeah.
if
Oh
you
yeah.
Well,
get a really big brush and make the letter, and then you go back with the paint pens and make dots or squiggles or whatever, and they're
oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
So now with the big ones, you cannot be very detailed, and they've been one is leaking oil now, water. I don't know what it is, but they're old. They're beginning to get old, to be old. Yeah, I think this needs to be replaced. So it's nice when you have different sizes, so you can be more detailed when you want to. So if you go online, actually you have to go to realreal.com, not real deal, but realreal.com, and they sell secondhand clothes there. And you can take a look at the Hermes scarves. They have a ton of them and get an idea of what you can do. So you can paint a landscape on there, or in the middle, and then do like a frame around it or something. Yeah, mine are getting old now. They're not so great anymore. So when you take a look at the video, then notice the application of the paint and that they were painting over and over paint that was already there. So it's not just one application, there are several. So you get that also, that idea, if you look at what Kandinsky did also, then you see that he did a lot of mixing on the canvas also. I like doing that. So you just take two color, well, you put a color on. It works best with oil because oil dries slowly. And then you put another color on top of it and you mix it in. I have upstairs in the hallway, I have wallpaper, and that is with drawings on it for flowers. Looks really cool.
You made the wallpaper?
No, I did not. But that you could do that. You could do that too. Yeah, design your wallpaper. So if you know my son-in-law, Hilton Carter, you can look him up on Instagram. He just finished his published his sixth book. I thought he was gonna design also wallpaper. He already did it, or he's working on it. Hilton Carter, famous guy. So he got famous by posting plants on Instagram. But he went to Mica, and he is an filmmaker also. So he makes beautiful photos and like little like movies.
He was on Good Morning America, wasn't he?
He's
Recently?
on he's on there like 6 times a year. Yeah,
Yeah.
on the Today Show.
Oh, okay, sure. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was on the other side. I don't know. He's everywhere. You sit in the airplane and you open one of these those magazines there, and
Uh-huh.
there's Hilton. So, yeah,
Where does he live?
Baltimore, Roland Park. They live in an old house from 19, so like 119, I don't know, 1800 or whatever, old house.
Mhm.
And the renovation of the house is, you can see that on the Magnolia channel. It's
He
called,
has his, let's see, he has his own show there, doesn't he? On the Magnolia Channel?
no, he wanted to do that, but no, that was not accepted, which is good because then you have to do what they want, and
Yeah.
he should be free to, to do what he wants. That guy is so creative. He has a podcast also. I never listened to this podcast, but he has a podcast. I think I should have me on and give me some publicity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? So he had a lot. He was for a couple of years. He was in on Target with the special with the special how do you call that? Um, Special edition design.
What's the title of his new book?
Of what? Of
What's the title of his new book? Do you know?
um unfurled. No, difficult to pronounce for me. I just took a quick look at it. I saw a lot of pictures that I'd seen before, but I don't. So he talks to other people and goes to other people's houses in that book. There are a lot of photographs in there as well. And he's gonna give me the signed edition. So what is also fun to do is lino cut. So they have these little things that you can buy, and then do that. It's really fun. We did that in the printing class. Yeah. It's so quiet here today. Um,
That's a good thing. That means people are working.
yeah. But also, I mean, outside it is like a really quiet day. Yeah, people are working, which is good.
In DC, it's quiet, but it's not so good.
In what? In DC?
DC because the federal government's closed.
Oh, that's closed. Yeah, I haven't followed that. Really, I saw that. Just a notice that's closed. Oh, yeah. So is Glen Echo Park then closed as well?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
It used to, but I think that I saw an
Federal
email.
Park, yeah, it is closed.
Yeah, I think I saw a
Unless they have some kind of reprieve, but I doubt it.
yeah, remember they closed all the parks. Remember when they did it a couple of years, like I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, maybe longer. And but they
Oh,
said
it
Glen
was
Echo,
especially on a day like today, it just hurts.
yeah. That was, I think it was when my kids were still in high school, a long time ago. It was maybe 20 years ago. So are the schools closed then?
Yeah,
Wow.
because they're not federal.
Yeah. See, I'm working with like on pastel. I don't like it. It's so messy.
Yeah.
Everything, the dust goes everywhere. Ugh. See, at Vistaprint, you can also have this, like these little sticky notes. Have those. So that was my first logo when I started out. You can see it. Sticky notes, and then I have something on there, like just like one thing. That's cool too. And like those, what you do in I always forget the name in English for what you put in books so that you know where you are. No, that
Template,
what is it called?
bookmark,
Yeah,
bookmark,
yeah,
bookmark.
bookmarks. Yeah, we say page pointer translated in Dutch. It's a completely different way of thinking.
The interesting thing about other languages, the same idea, but in a different concept, yes.
Yeah, it is important that because in different languages you think in different ways also. There's one video of a German guy, but it was a German and English, and then they were speaking English in the way you speak German, so with the German words and the German, sentences, and that was like, what the heck are they talking about? It was like,
But Pennsylvania Dutch
oh,
people do.
yeah,
They speak English in German word order.
yeah, right. Oh, they do that? Yeah, that is so weird. Yeah.
It's interesting to hear.
It was so funny. Yeah.
I learned that from my German teacher.
Oh
She,
yeah?
oh
Yeah.
yeah, she said that. And
Yeah.
because I wouldn't have noticed it, I didn't think about it because I hadn't been around, but she went visiting in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania and
Right.
came
Yeah,
up
yeah,
with
yeah.
that idea. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was
because they're German. They're not Dutch. People think they're Dutch, but they're German.
uh, Pennsylvania Deutsch.
Yeah, it's Pennsylvania Dutch. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Pennsylvania Deutsch. Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
My in-laws are Greek and they're Greek Australian. And so because they grew up in a small Australian town, my husband they moved to a small Australian town and my husband was born there.
Hmm.
They anglicized Greek words.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And hilarious. Like
Yeah.
instead like a car in Greek is something like epikatakatiko. It's like a really long word, and they call it caro.
Oh yeah.
Caro.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so my husband is American, but also his father was Dutch, and we lived in Germany, and I'm Dutch and whatever, and we had English or American grandparents. So my kids always spoke three languages, but we had our own language because we would use certain words in certain languages. So we still do that a little bit, but because German has these really cool words for just one word for like a whole sentence of 15 words or something. It was so cool. And then we were in England on vacation with the kids when they were little. And then people we had the breakfast, and the people next to us, they said like, "What are they speaking? What are you? I don't know. I don't understand them. Oh, I think it's French." Like, yo, no, it is definitely not French, but it was so funny. Yeah. Well, we didn't even notice that. We were talking in mixed three languages. Yeah.
But everybody, a family, especially children, make up their own words,
Yeah. Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
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 So I just read an article about that. I said, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. My granddaughter, when she started speaking mayonnaise, was Mimi. It was
Mm.
like, this is more. So I got Mimi, Mimi, Mimi. Yeah. It's
Well, my cousin used to say piano
Banana for piano.
or biscotti.
what is that? The last one?
Biscotti.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. 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 That's funny.
So, I mean, he's like 60 years old now,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I was like, wow, okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And those words, they stay there. They go for your whole life. And my son said he was not very good at speaking, a bit lazy. And but he said to the moon, he said blump, blump, like lamp, lump in Dutch, and then blump was the moon. Like, okay. Yeah. Yeah, funny. But languages are funny. So you have one language where you don't have a left or a right arm, but you have a south or a north arm or a west arm. So it changes all the time. So and then but these people are very good in knowing where they are in the world, their position. I'm very bad at that. So I think I would be totally lost in a country like that. But I thought that was interesting. And there was a book written by an American woman, and she married a Frenchman, and she lives in, I think it was Switzerland. And then she write about the idiosyncrasies between English and French. So the French say my arm, they say the arm, le bras. They don't say it. And here, so then her husband thought it was very strange that we say mon bras, because that is, they don't say that. They say le bras, le nez, la bouche. And this is just a little thing.
Do that too. They say they put the arm or the head, whatever. I think they do too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny.
They say you know whose it is because you know who's, we don't have to say my
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
people, I mean, it's
yeah,
fascinating. It's fascinating to see what they
yeah.
insist. Yes, Germans.
Yeah, but it dictates the way you think. So when I have these four languages in my head, and then I have to sometimes to think about it, when I start in a language, how I'm gonna do that, or I don't remember a word in a certain language. Um,
What happens to me is if I'm trying to speak another language, what can happen is the first word that comes to mind is not the language I'm trying to speak.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yes. So, because I know this word in German better than in French. And,
yeah, yeah,
it's like, and my husband said to me, he says, you do realize you're mixing French and German. And I said, well, in Luxembourg, that's what they do, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there's
I
always a
wasn't
place.
doing it right.
Yeah, it's always a place where they do that. So when we lived in Germany by Düsseldorf in the Dutch border, they have a Plattdeutsch, and that
Oh,
is
okay.
kind of a mixture between Dutch and German. Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's a dying it's a dying dialect, which is a shame. Yeah. So Sarah, do you speak Greek?
A little.
A little? Yeah. Yeah. Kalimera. That's what I used to go on vacation a lot in Greece. Yeah.
There's a dialect of German near where I lived because I lived in Rhineland-Pfalz. Palatinate is in English. And so I saw a poem written in this dialect. I
Oh,
didn't recognize any words at
yeah.
all.
Yeah. Yeah.
No relationship to any German I knew.
Yeah.
Don't know what this dialect is, but there are dialects, around Europe that are very, very,
Everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah. Even
yeah,
in
in
small,
Italy.
yeah. Even in small Netherlands. Yeah. Yeah, them and all and everywhere in all these countries. Yeah,
Yeah.
Switzerland. So
I
I
mean,
find real Australian really hard to understand. We
Because
worked,
there's no R's.
yeah, we worked there for a while, and I had to book flights and stuff, and I was like, I have no clue what you're just saying there on the phone. Like totally lost.
Yeah, it is you can get lost easily.
Yeah, yeah. Well, especially if English is not your first language,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And it's like, okay,
I mean, even Americans have a lot of trouble with the Australians.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and British too, British English. Sometimes it's very
yeah, you
hard.
have different words. Yeah.
Or Scottish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Scottish
That.
dialect
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
be very hard to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. They are. Yeah. Irish sometimes. Yeah.
What I found interesting is that in his family, my husband's family, they say nay. Now that's a Scottish word for not, and
Oh.
it's in my husband's family. and
It's Dutch. We say nay. Yeah.
well, I think they got it from Scotland because well, could be. I mean, there's Dutch in his family too, so I don't know.
It's Dutch. We say.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Sorry?
In Greek, that ne is or ne is yes.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Oh,
that could
Very
be.
confusing.
that's really confusing. Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
know that. Yeah. So we say yeah and nay. I say yeah a lot instead of yes. I thought like I said yeah, but they know what I mean when I say that. Yeah.
yeah.
Ja en nee. Nee, nee. That's funny.
That's one of the fun things about living in Europe is those little pieces of information.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well, I have run out of paper.
Oh,
I did a lot. I don't know how many pictures here, 6 or 7 or 8. So I actually used up the whole pad. Oh, that's pretty cool.
I made one flower with my messy stuff. Not very inspiring,
Oh,
but
Shell is messy. Yes,
now I stopped because everything is with that powder. Ugh. Yeah. It is nice. And when I used to go to these model painting classes, then I worked with you call that pastel.
Yeah, when you're doing figure drawing, it's really fun.
Yeah, yeah. That is cool for
Lines and shapes.
yeah. And charcoal, but that's the only time. So I do use charcoal for abstract paintings, especially the gestural paintings. So now I have a question for you all. I thought of um, when we follow the video, I want to add some other painters to that, so that we take a deeper look at Richard Diebenkorn, for example, or you have a whole or Pierre, what is his name, Pierre Soulages, or you have a lot of or you have Polyakov, or those painters. I think it would be good to do a little sideways also, so that we get some other well, they're all inspired by each other, but I think it will be good to, what do you think?
yeah.
Yeah, good.
Corn.
So then we'll see. You know what I will do? When I send you the email, I will see if I can find I think I have that already, a video about Sonia Delaunay, because she makes beautiful paintings, not just what we saw, but she makes also other kinds of paintings. So I think it will be good to take a deeper look at her also.
Is she still alive then,
Mm,
Delornay?
no,
No.
no, no, no. She
Mm.
was from around the time from what's his name that we looked at
20s anyway, I think.
Kandinsky. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Kandinsky made also these. I have like coasters in the circles that he made, and a lot of these artists they made that kind of thing. What Delaunay did, working with colors in circles or squares or. Yeah, the painters in those times they belonged to a group. That I thought that was good. They called it school or group and they were then all painting like the Impressionists in the same style. I don't think you see that now anymore. At least not that I can find it.
They're more freeformy.
That's kind of interesting that they're not, like you say, you don't find them clustered together in groups.
Yeah,
I guess they supported each other
yeah, they did.
and
Yeah,
competed against each other too.
yeah, Yeah. So they would move. So there's a lot of Russian artists in Paris who moved to Paris. There were American artists moving to Paris, painters. So Paris was one of these places where artists would go. And later, that you had the abstract, the women, for example, post-war women, they were in New York and San Francisco, in these two places. So you had the East and the West Coast, and they were competing with each other. But that was later. That was not early 1900s. Then you had a lot like Blavatsky. She's from the Ukraine. So you had a lot of artists from so Polyakov is from Russia. Then you have what's his name? Nicholas de Stael from
That's
Russia. There
But
were
it seems like did the women they would join the men's group because they weren't as numerous, or
women were not really painting at that time, and they
oh,
were
that's right.
they
Yeah,
were not seeing as worthy or whatever you want to call it.
right.
yes.
And then they so like Elaine de Koning and Krasner and so on. So they married famous painters, and but they were famous artists, or they were good artists or excellent artists in their own right. And then,
Right.
but some of them did not do that, married. And there was one, what was her name? Gosh, one of those. And she married I'm bad at remembering names. I can look it up for you if you want. And she married an artist who was very supportive, who was also an artist, right? And who was very, very supportive of her. He really, I think he meant Helen Stern, maybe. And but that was exceptional.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen for. But we're definitely going to take a look at also that movement, the post-war women, because it is really interesting, that whole group. There were 40 women in that, about 40 women in that whole group. The ones that were famous, but and they had some of them had really interesting careers, very, very cool.
My great aunt was a painted, and she did some beautiful things, but I don't think she ever would have thought of selling them. I think it was just she gave them to family members or kept them for herself, you
Well,
know.
there were shows where they were selling, but they were not all um, invited to be part of those
Hmm.
of the groups. But like there were a few, so it was like I think it was Krasner or a few who were in the society or in the group that they founded. And so then they were allowed to participate in the jury shows and no and so on. So it depends.
I like that word allowed. Yeah, they had to be chosen.
Yeah, yeah. So you had to be, so the more you were participating in the movement, the better your chances were that you were um, selling and that kind of stuff.
I had a professor. I took art history in the late 1960s. Okay, this is tells you how old I am.
Yeah.
But he actually he was very arrogant, but he actually said something to the effect that women that were not able to become great artists because they didn't have something, but it was referring to the male sex drive or the male, that testosterone, something to that effect. And I remember I was so disgusted when he said it, but he got away with it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Yeah. Interesting. So now it feels like everybody is painting, right? I mean,
Yeah, but
everybody.
that was also, there were a lot of people that were also outraged at that statement in the class because that was also the time when women's liberation was coming along.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. 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 I know. Yeah. I was from that time, the same
yeah,
era.
I remember it well.
Yeah.
yeah,
We were rebelling against everything. You know, yeah, I was born in 1951, like in the Netherlands,
uh-huh,
6 years after the war ended. That was a tough time there. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure it was.
But then when
Oh,
I graduated high school it was in 1969. So then you had the flower power and full force and all that.
Yeah,
it was kind of like a crazy time. Lots of drugs.
Well, people
I
would,
graduated in '63, but yeah, all that didn't come along till a few years later, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
it's
Yeah,
six,
yeah.
Hmm?
What's that?
What'd you say?
67, this
Yeah, because
Asbury.
when I got divorced also very young, and I moved to Colorado, and I moved to a ski resort that was also a huge hippie community,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I just loved it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, but it was so different from the way I was brought up in Texas.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
what
Yeah.
resort
That's
was?
different. Yeah. Well, Colorado is still like Boulder. I lived there for a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
That is still like when I say I live in Boulder, go like, oh yeah,
I
Boulder.
lived there for a while too, but this was Crested Butte, Colorado,
Oh,
and
Crested Butte.
Hmm.
Huh.
yes.
Yeah.
Crested Butte would have a hippie community, but I was there in
Oh,
the 90s, so I
big
don't.
hippie community. When were you there?
In the 90s, I was
Oh yeah,
on a ski trip. Yeah, a long
yeah.
time.
It was a combination of old mining families and hippies,
Oh yeah, yeah,
artists,
yeah.
and then ski bums too. You know.
Oh yeah,
Well, if
yeah, yeah.
you have a ski area, you're going to have ski bumps, period.
Yeah, yeah.
That's going to happen. Yes.
But the hippies were all. I mean, I was not a hippie, but a little bit. I was on the fringes, but the hippies
I
were.
was also a wannabe hippie. You know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was not completely hippie.
No,
I was not at all. People have accused me of being because of my age, because I was born in 1951 too, but
Oh yeah,
no, I wasn't a hippie. I was too conservative.
yeah.
I was
it's
conservative.
probably too materialistic to be a hippie.
Yeah, the kids in high school, it was a beautiful old building, old school, like really old, and some majestic building, and there was a great lawn in the front, and they were all smoking hashish there in the front of the school.
Is that in Boulder?
No, it was in Rotterdam, in the
Oh, I
Netherlands.
was going to say that
Well,
that
in the
might have been a bit
Netherlands,
much even for Boulder.
you would
Yeah,
have, yeah.
yeah. So
A lot of people smoked pot in the dorms when I was, but I hated the smell. So,
yeah, I've never done it. I didn't. I just didn't want to. So here there are more women.
any smoking, cigarettes, tobacco, any of
Nothing. Yeah.
no interest whatsoever. So, was
But what I liked about it that nobody was pushing it on you. If you said no, I don't want to do that, that was fine. That was the end of it. Perfect. Here I meet women my age and you're like 10 years younger and stuff. And they say like, oh, we're gonna get together and we're gonna have mushrooms and okay, well that's a no for me. I don't want to do that. But it's really strange. And then they go, oh, you don't do that? God, I thought like that is really weird that they kind of push
Yeah.
it.
Well, the funny thing is, back then, if you got on the ski lift and you were by yourself, and a man got on, more than often not, they would say, "Would you mind if I smoked?" And I would say, "Go ahead."
Oh.
And they'd pull out a joint and
Oh,
would you like some? I said, "No, I wouldn't be able to get down the mountain."
yeah.
But it was that prevalent that they felt it was that open,
Yeah.
and but it was a much milder form of pot than there is today. Like the
yeah.
medical
Yeah,
marijuana
yeah,
today,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
Nowadays
I mean, it's just too much, you
yeah,
know.
it's too much. Definitely. Okay, so I have a cocktail date, so
Oh,
I need to go
Oh,
with my neighbors. Yeah, so for next week, I'll give you. So let's work in colors in the Deloni style, or if you want to do that completely, you can do that. Make a print, so don't forget to do that. Can be simple, something simple. And take a look at the video again and look at the so pause the video and look at the application of paint and see how they painted over thing and how the paint became dirty and that was okay. And so really because also Kandinsky he not so much in his landscapes but later in the other paintings that he made the abstracts he paints with, dirty paint, meaning that it picked up another color and that was okay. and paint it over and over, which is cool too. So that the painting over and over, we're going to do that in the gestural paintings. But that will be later. All right. So any questions?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Then you wanna show your painting quickly, Sarah, because you've been working the hardest. Oh yeah, cool. That is fantastic. I love it. Oh yeah, hold on. I'm not supposed to push you away.
Oh, you're not supposed to push me away.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to do it. Yeah, yeah, because you were not on full.
Got a little
Yeah.
started. I
Nice.
had trouble getting my paints.
Oh, here you are too.
Yeah.
I like that. Wow, that is cool too. So that is a great print actually.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking
Yeah,
about the horse blanket,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, 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 definitely. Let's see what happens. Oh no, yeah, 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 yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at
Okay.
that.
Oh, and that too. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
nice.
I'm gonna go to you.
What
Replace.
are you using?
Yeah.
What,
This
what?
is oil pastel
Oh, oil pastel.
on
Oh,
Tanson paper.
Yeah. So that I've mentioned that before, but if you have turpenoid or something, then go over it and then you get paint. Then it will become
That's
paint.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
And that's cool because it gives a whole different texture of it. So you can do that a little bit or you can do it everywhere. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Terpenoid on oil pastel. Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of oil pastels. I never really work with it, but you can use it in what I do is when I paint in abstract, I go over it in other with some sticks, with oil sticks, or sometimes even with pastel. Just go over or charcoal. Just go over oil paint or acrylic paint. Just go over there and see what you can do. So if you look, so you can push the boundaries. If you look at Willem de Koning, so he makes mixtures of oil paint with water and it gets a very unhappy mixture, but that's what he wants. So yeah, you can
who
do it.
is that? Who
Willem,
is that?
Willem de Koning, Willem de
Oh,
Koning.
yes. Oh, yeah.
So what you could also do, for example, when you work with acrylic paint, you can you sprinkle salt over it, and you get these little, kind of
Oh,
Wonderful for watercolor. Watercolor. I haven't tried it with
also.
acrylic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With any water-based paints, you can. I don't think it does anything to oil paint, but it works with water. Yeah, and you can spray water over it, so let it, just whatever. Okay, but we'll do a lot more play in the next sessions also. All right then. I'll see you next week, and
bye.
have fun with it. Oh, I have an ant here. All right, bye bye.
Bye.